Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny, and manifesting the life you desire. I hope you're all doing well this Friday. And I hope this session brings you some peace, brings you some clarity, and some answers to the questions that you bring today. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and let's tune into what Spirit has to say to us today. Anyone new here, or as a reminder, if you would like a free reading, just click the link in the pinned comment to join the list and wait for your name to be called. How I read, so I'm an energy reader here to bring clarity to your situation, and I tune into your energy. So please do provide as much context and detail about your situation, about your question, about anyone involved in your situation. It allows me to connect with your energy. I don't do yes, no questions, timelines, or general. And all the guidelines are posted in the chat as well. But hey to everyone. Hey Crystal. Hey Namira, Sruthi, Supriya. Lovely to see you all. I'm going to go over and grab the list now. I'm going to have to close the list as well because it is filling up, so just bear with me. Is everyone ready for the weekend? First on the list we have Crystal 1983, my love. If you want to go ahead and post your question, and just to let everyone know, today's deck that I'm using is the Gypsy Fair Tarot deck. There we go. Hey Tia, how are you, my love? I hope you're well. But let's get into it. So we have, like I said, we have Crystal. And the lists are filling up very quickly nowadays, which is wonderful, which is great. But for anyone who, if you want to ensure that you get on the list, or that you know you're near the top of the list, I do recommend pre-booking. So the list is always open the day before the live, and you can catch that. The best place to check for updates is in the community post. So I don't know if you guys actually see those community posts, but I always post the day before the live. So that's one of the best ways to secure your spot and secure it early if anyone wants to look into that. Okay. Hey Alvin. Crystal asks, hi Seer, maybe I am manifesting it too much, but I have a deep feeling that XN really desires or hopes we may get back together. It also feels like emotional manipulation. Just broken. What are the energies today? I'm severely stressed. I'm sorry, Crystal. When you say it feels like a manipulation, you mean that you feel manipulated by them? And with energies, do you want to check in on their energy, or do you want to check in for guidance for you? You know, if you're feeling, I'm sorry that you're feeling so stressed about how to deal with this. Let me know what aspect that you want to look at. I understand if you just want to check in with their energy. Okay. I feel he may just try, okay, be trying to come back to hurt me even more than before. So almost like an energy vampire in a way, Crystal, to you, yeah? Like someone has negative intentions to drain you. I mean, don't disregard that. Don't dismiss that feeling, because Crystal, that could be your intuition. I suppose what comes after that as well is, I mean, can you, it just feels like it has this toxicity to it, you know, that you feel so stressed about it, that you know, want them back, but maybe know that they aren't good for you. I'm just wondering, we'll see what Spirit has to say, obviously, but if it's time to start trying to look for ways to free yourself from this, cut ties, work on cutting energetic ties if they are this energy vampire, you know. And people do, you know, try to take you out energetically. It's no joke when someone kind of wants to destroy you sometimes, you know. Let's see an energy check-in on them. I mean, I feel like this is how they see you, which is the Queen of Pentacles, which I suppose is someone who is a prize. You know, if they value that prize or not is a separate thing, yeah? But you're a catch, yeah? Can you see how this Queen of Pentacles, it's like she's glowing in every way, yeah? And maybe you've got some stability, maybe you've got some financial stability, you're kind of, maybe in other areas of your life, you're successful and on track, you know, or that's how they see you. Maybe that's what you offer to them. So yeah, they would like some of that. Let's have a look about this kind of fear that you feel, you know, this, you know, maybe we need to work on some protection visualizations and things like that, Crystal, yeah? And then we have another queen, which is interesting. Eight of Swords is you feeling worried, very anxious. What I think this is about is that you've really given your power away here, Crystal. And whatever you decide to do, you know, because I understand that we can have toxic ties to people and we can't always free ourselves yet, you know, from them. We have to still work this out, work this karmic energy out, learn some more lessons. It's just not always possible, even if it's really blatantly obvious that we need to walk away. I'm not saying it is, but if it, you know, for some people, if they're not right for you, you know, just walk away. Well, that's easier said than done, yeah, if you feel very bound to them. But I think what the advice is, yes, I held them down and take care of my home, Seer. Yeah, so there we go. And this is you, this is your Queen of Wands, this is your power. And look how kind of self-contained and beautiful your energy is, okay, Crystal? And I feel like it's about remembering who you are, remembering that, you know, you have a lot to offer and that you are a prize, and regaining some kind of control, and regaining your, trying to get the guidance is to get your power back. You've given your power away to this person. So even if they do try to manipulate you, you know, try to find that place inside of you where you can trust that, you know, you won't let them, or you will navigate your way through that, yeah? If you can, you set boundaries, you know, with them, or even begin to set boundaries now energetically, even when you're not in communication. We need to shift out of this Eight of Swords energy, which is full of fear, full of anxiety in your head. You know, it's kind of a prison of your own making. So try to make steps towards that, Crystal, if it's either talking to someone, you know, if you need to talk to a therapist to try to regain your center, or if it's meditating, visualizing, working on yourself, doing, if it's exercising, if it, whatever it is, creative projects even that allow you to tap back into yourself and your own power. Even if it feels futile at this point, you know, if you can't stop thinking about them, just do the things anyway, you know, that kind of fake it till you make it still. But they see you, they understand that you're a prize, you are this prize, you're the only one in this situation in a way who doesn't know it. And if their intentions aren't good, then we need to know that maybe that you're stronger than them, Crystal. You're stronger than you think. I hope that resonated, Crystal. Danny, my dear, are you here? Please go ahead and post your question. So we have Danny, Carmona, and then we have Kristen, if you want to be ready after Danny. Anyone who's watching the replay, so I go live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays as well, so please be sure to join us. Just come along with your question and receive free guidance from Spirit. I hope Danny and Kristen are here. Oh, hi Samreen. So we have Danny, Kristen, Kitana. Yeah, people on the list, but maybe not here. We can move on to Kitana if you're here. Oh, there we go. Hey, Kristen. Thank you, my love. So Kristen says, I sold my business, all as previously predicted on this channel. I remember those readings, and specifically it was the 9 of Cups, I think I remember. I'm now looking to purchase a home in a new location. How exciting for my job at a law firm. What message do I need for looking for a home? Okay, let's have a look at the energy, Kristen. Lots of change for you, yeah? And is that a U-turn to go to law? Or was that... Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Let's have a look at the new home energy. Ooh. Well, first what I think is, an opportunity I really feel like will actually come quite quickly. So I don't think you'll be waiting too long, maybe to find the right property, to find options, because Ace of Wands is an opportunity. In the Rider-Waite, it's often depicted as it's like, a wand that almost looks like it comes out of nowhere in some ways, that it's just been handed to you. And the Ace is all about new beginnings, fresh starts. It's a very vibrant energy because it's fire, so it's fast moving. It may feel a little bit too fast in a way, so try to center yourself and stay grounded. Exciting, Kristen. I went back to uni to study property law 5 years ago. I'm now full-time. Let's see if there's anything else that you need to be aware of, but there doesn't feel to be much blockages or anything. Certainly about the next steps of where you're at now, Kristen, about, finding the right property. It feels kind of fast and furious energy. Three of Pentacles. Finding the right people to help you, maybe. Three of Pentacles is all about collaboration, working towards a common goal. Again, nothing negative. This is quite nice to see, actually, because it kind of offsets this excitement, you feeling inspired. I suppose, if anything, that I would take from this for guidance for you is allow yourself, look for something that obviously ticks all the boxes, but also inspires you and gets you excited. Yeah. Because that's what fire's all about. It's not just about, doing the right thing, if that makes sense. There has to be that kind of fire in your belly that this place where you're going to be makes you feel as well. It gets your blood pumping, that kind of feeling, yeah. Okay, it is moving fast if the competition moves out the way. Three of Pentacles, yeah, is about grounding that energy, just working towards a common goal. This is really a card of collaboration. So maybe it's about the stars aligning, of finding the right people to work with as well. Or I don't know if you're aware of who these people are. Either, in the industry, if you've got I've forgotten what they're like, an agent who is helping you, who is good at what they do and they have your best interests at heart. Or it could be someone who I mean, you're in property law, yeah, so I imagine that you have a lot of knowledge around this, but also it's about not doing it alone. There's something in it for that as well. If there are people that you can lean on, ask questions to, then be open to that and lean into it, because this is such a collaborative card. But nothing like really negative here, Kristen, is what I would say. I would say it's positive, it's exciting, and I kind of feel like the vibe, because it's an ace and a three, that this will come together pretty quickly. So I hope that resonated. So Katana, I don't do yes/no questions or timelines. So if you want to rephrase your question, ask a different question, please go ahead and do so. Whilst you're doing that, Tia Bia, if you want to go ahead and post your question, my love. Kristen says, my friend is running around looking for me. Oh, nice, because it's 2 hours away and he is there. Awesome. So it's already a collaboration, yeah? So I suppose Spirit is approving that and saying, you know, that they could be a great help, Kristen, to you, which I'm sure they are. That's really good of them, isn't it? Keep us posted, Kristen, of how that unfolds for you. But like I said, I don't see too many obstacles. Thank you, Tia. So Tia asked, last couple of days have been amazing with Pisces. Wonderful. He came over for lunch 2 days ago and spent time. It felt right. Date night last night also went really well. Beautiful. Not sure if it was the drinks, but he decided to pull back at the end and said he needs space. What? He's stressed from work and family, not feeling like himself. Is this the truth? What is really going on? Ugh, I don't like this back and forth energy, Tia. Do you? Like, can you see the pattern here, Tia? Do you see it? Kristen says, he is so helpful, it brings me to tears because I need the support. Yeah, I can imagine, Kristen. That beautiful Three of Pentacles energy that you've got going on. Let's see, Tia. But yeah, do you see the pattern? I don't like that he's taking you. I feel like that he's like yanking your chain. You know, we've got like a hot cold situation going on now. So he relaxes, you know, everything's good, and then he wants to have these serious conversations with you and sort of keep this hanging over your head, that as if he's going to walk away at any point. So this doesn't, I kind of don't like this energy for you. I feel like it's a game. And that's strange. So he mentioned the same thing. So what? That he's admitting that this is what he does? But he wants to talk to you about it again? I don't know. This just doesn't... Let's see his intentions. I mean, this is... Tell me more, Spirit. Because Temperance is about... harmony. It's about balance. It's about patience. See how this kind of angelic figure here is holding these two cups, which represents, you know, your energy and the Pisces energy, and kind of keeping it perfectly balanced. What comes through? Okay, so this Temperance card is, say the light side is harmony, is peace, is patience, but the shadow side of Temperance card, to me, what is coming through today is maybe it's almost like a perfection for harmony and peace, and that they really maybe struggle with the ups and downs of real life human connections, yeah, that ultimately are generally kind of messy, yeah. And the Three of Pentacles is all about working it out, working it through, understanding as well. The Three of Pentacles can often be about that, even though, you know, we're all individuals and we all have different approaches, different opinions, and different ways of approaching things, and understanding and appreciating each other's differences rather than working against each other. And it's at the end of the day, it's like you and the Pisces do have this common goal with the Three of Pentacles of what you want to achieve, which is this relationship, yeah? And I kind of feel like that the Pisces is maybe it's about having things their own way. Maybe it's about that they struggle with the messiness of relationships and intimacy, and have this kind of, you know, Pisces can be idealistic, very much so, over romanticizing things, and a dreamer, yeah, all those things, and not really be grounded in reality about what a relationship looks like on the day to day. And maybe suffer with this kind of idea of perfection, which is never going to be achieved, whoever they date, whoever they go out with, yeah? So I feel that just gives us some insight into where they're at, okay, and what you're dealing with here. Final card about how you can best deal with this. I mean, can you call them out? Can you draw a tougher line on this? Because you can't keep be drawn into these things, these serious talks, and have this kind of hanging over your head as if they're going to end this at any point. You know, it's very unsafe for you, Tia, and it's very emotionally draining and not fair on you. So I don't know if you feel that, or I feel like maybe that you're very much caught up still in believing what they're actually, they're taking you, I think, objectively removed out on a bit of a wild goose chase here, that there aren't really that deeper issues. Here we go. Seven of Cups. Maybe time to, you know, you have options, you have choices. I know that you want to work this out with the Pisces, and that's fine, but I do wonder if as well that there are other opportunities out there. Look how beautiful that card is. And maybe even just to know that doesn't mean that you have to act on it, doesn't mean that you have to start dating other people straight away, but just start to understand that, you know, if this Pisces isn't appreciating the prize that he has with you and is hanging this over your head and playing this game, you know, remember who you are, Tia. Remember you've got other, you know, you could walk out the door tomorrow and find a relationship of someone who would be interested, you know. There are lots of options and opportunities out there for you. So at least know that. I mean, if you want to see what other options and explore that, then I feel like you're within your rights to do that. Even if you wanted to explain that you didn't want to be exclusive anymore, however you want to approach it, Tia, wherever your heart feels ready to do, yeah. But even if it's not acting on it, but spirit just comes in to remind you and say, hey Tia, just to let you know, there's not just this Pisces, so don't let them make you feel like that there's only them. Sometimes that's what people do. I hope that resonated. I hope that helped. I feel like maybe your Pisces has unrealistic expectations about relationships, yeah? I hope that resonated. Keep us posted. Sruthi, my love, you are next. if you want to post your question. Thank you, Sruthi. So, Kitana, I don't do yes/no questions. So, Sruthi asks, current feelings of my aunt. So, in order to keep the chat moving, Kitana, I'm reading for other people whilst you, but I don't do yes/no questions and I don't do timeline, okay? So what I think I can do, Katana, is do an energy check-in because for V. Tell me who V is. Is this a friend? Is this someone who is a potential marriage prospect? But you know, when you say, will the proposed marriage offer or relationship commitment offer to me in the future for us? I don't do yes/no questions. So don't do yes/no. I don't do timeline. Well, then maybe I'm not the right reader then for you, Katana, okay? Because I don't do yes/no. You're welcome, Tia. So if you want to tell me a bit more about who this V is, Katana. So I always do an intro at the start of how I read. And it's also in the chat guidelines. You know that I'm an energy reader. Detail context is required in order for me to connect with your energy. And I don't do yes/no timelines or general readings. So can you tell me more about this? And then Sruthi, I will read for you after Katana, okay? So if you're able to tell me more about V, Katana, put that in the chat and then I can read for you, okay? But in the meantime, I'm going to read for Sruthi, okay? Because I want to keep things moving. So Sruthi, this is for you. So Sruthi asks, current feelings of my aunt. She acts sweet and supportive of me when I'm around. And when I'm not, she's always talking ill about me. Oh dear. She just expects me to fail at everything and hates it when I succeed. I have overheard her talking about this over the phone to my mom. It was on speaker. She right now has conflict with my grandpa and doesn't talk to him, although we live right next door to each other. She always says, even though I am earning well, she has no one, and that has always been an insecurity for me, yeah, which you'll know, yeah, and not having a good family. Okay, so let's have a look, current feelings of her. I mean, there may be something about you, you know, which is obviously not your issue, Sruthi, right? Who is like there's something about you that triggers her, maybe just for her own insecurities that she has to put someone down, Samreen says typical South Asian aunt. It's always a sign of, not that it's justified in any way, but I think when people act like this, to me it's always just a flag of their insecurities and their unhappiness, yeah? To have to be that kind of bitter, to be that kind of resentfulness in a way. But let's do an energy checking because I'm interested. Oh, getting temperance again. Why temperance, Spirit? There we go. There's her heartache. There's her Three of Swords, her wound, Shruti. So there's some jealousy there. But this is always, like I mentioned, generally this kind of level of bitterness or venom that's coming from her. It's not your problem, but it is from a source of pain. And what I would say is, because like I spoke of before, in a way, like temperance, the light side is, or when temperance is thriving, is harmony, is balance. And really with her, because of how she's coming through and what this question is about, the shadow side of temperance is imbalance. Yeah. Impatience, discord. And often what can come through as well with temperance is a kind of emotional indulgence, if that makes sense. It's like she's almost indulging in these negative feelings, in this pain. So it's like she's not taking responsibility for her own pain. She's just, you know, sort of, lots of people do this who don't own their own pain, who don't own their own suffering. It has to have somewhere to go, yeah, energetically. If we don't own it, if we don't process it and understand it, then it spreads out all around to those close to us and has to stick somewhere. And for you, Shruti, that you happen to be one of those people, because she's not owning her own pain, where it's landed on you, and it's almost like you're having to energetically carry that. But it's not really about you, it's about her own pain and suffering. I don't know how much you know about that, where that comes from, her own losses in life, her own disappointments. It doesn't necessarily have to come from some trauma. It can just be, you know, we all have pain in our lives and some people are better at processing it than others. So what can you do? I mean, firstly, understand, I don't know if you already understand this, Shruti, know that it's not yours. This is what we would call a projection. So that can create some distance, you know. Chariot, Major Arcana. So first things, can you fight back a bit more? The Chariot is very fierce and is very determined. So I don't know if you can explore or experiment with shutting her down a bit more, because, you know, it is a bit like bullying behavior. So we don't have to be aggressive in this, but we can be assertive. Again, it's another way, Shruti, of this thing about you working on yourself to protect your energy. The Chariot as well is about just focusing on your own goals and your own progress and tuning out as much as possible. I mean, this goes for anyone. Tuning out what other people think of us. I like the expression, so comparison is the thief of joy. So as soon as you start looking at others and where they are on their path, we don't know their history, we don't know their privilege. As soon as you start comparing yourself to others, that will steal your joy. So this is very much about being determined and to focus on your own goals. The Chariot understands that there may be obstacles and there has been obstacles, but we're determined nonetheless and have confidence in ourselves to overcome those obstacles. We won't be stopped. And try to project this energy and this image as much as you can to your ant, okay? To shut them down as best you can and say, look, this is again this kind of fake it till you make it. It's all working out for me. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm thriving, even if you're not. But to naysayers and to negative people, that's the best attitude. I'm fine. Okay, that makes sense, Ruthie. Sufi says, I always thought it was something I did. Yeah, I never had received any love from family except my grandparents. That's very painful, Sufi. So it goes into my head easily. Exactly. Very susceptible if you've got deep wounds like that and already probably internalized somewhere that you are not worthy, or however that manifests for you, Sufi, about not being good enough. And it takes a lot of time and effort and energy to try to heal those wounds, yeah? So start there. Have a clear understanding that this is not about you. Love and light, Suthi. Love and light. Okay, Namira, my love, if you are here, please go ahead and post your question. Thank you, Namira. So Namira asks, hi Seer, I found out that the letter to my son was not completed because I missed some important things and I sent it yesterday to him in a kindly way. I don't know how he's processing this, but something. I'll wait for the rest. Love and light, Ruthie. Keep us posted, yeah? So Nimir says, I don't know how he is processing this, but something heavy fell from my shoulder. Was it an energetic shift that happened? Okay, I have to make sure I'm understanding this. Do you mean that you feel like, Namira, that a weight was lifted, fell from your shoulders? Tell me how this ties into what was missed from the letter. Do you want to know how the letter was received? I just want to be clear on what I'm reading. There's a bit of a delay in the chat, Namira, so let me know. Anyway, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this. I can see what the energy is between you both now and this shift that you felt. I mean, I would certainly trust that shift, Namira. But what I'm interested in knowing more about when you say, you know, that it was incomplete, the letter. So tell me more though about how that ties in, Namira, if you can. There's some confusion happening here. We're having a communication breakdown. So how does this tie in though to that you've missed that the letter was incomplete? Let's see what your son is feeling. Let's start there. I don't want to get stuck on this. So what comes through with this, okay, this is the High Priestess. And I feel like this is your energy, Namira. And I feel like this is how you're being perceived by your son. And I think what might be happening is that he is beginning to understand that you mean business, yeah? That you are holding a boundary, which I understand is what the change is what you've made, yeah? Because can you see how strong she looks, you know? And she's kind of focusing on what's in front of her, focusing on her own life. It's a bit like, you know, I'm not available to this kind of nonsense anymore. And maybe that's that lightness, that shift that I feel like it's finally kind of registering. It's finally landing, okay? And he's beginning to take you more seriously, I guess, if maybe that's what's been missing. And he didn't really get that it took a while for it to sink in that something was going to change, yeah? So how is he feeling now, you know, post-letter? I mean, that's how he feels about you, but I just want to dig a little bit deeper, see if I can find out anything else. Oh, and there is his energy. Look, that's you, that's him. And the Magician, okay, is in kind of accepting this change and accepting this shift, that he is beginning to step into his own power. It's like, you know, this is good for you, but it's also good for him, because there's two major arcanas here and you're both coming through as major arcanas, which is all about, tells me in a way that you're stepping into your own power. And can you see how this Magician is quite contemplative, contemplating? There's some reflection going on here, Yeah, they are processing finally what you're putting down. And the magician is someone who, so your son as well, I know there's been lots of ups and downs and difficulties and challenges, but they have a lot of personal power themselves, and they can achieve, if they put their mind to it, they have a lot of personal power, which I think is that they can use for good or they can use for bad. And I feel like they're tapping into more ways in using it for the good, where before it was used a lot to bring chaos or to bring negativity in some ways, because they weren't owning their power as well. Exactly. Those words in a mirror that you say, yes, it's feeling like it's finally landing. And that's exactly what I get from both these cards. So it leaves you in a better position, like through you stepping into your own power. It's freed up and changed the game. And in turn, it's actually, even though it's been difficult, it's pushing your son in the right direction. And he's finally starting to get it, finally starting to understand. So continue to hold that line in the mirror, because it's working, yeah? And it's pushing things in the right direction for both of you. So it'll be interesting to see what comes now after this, how that manifests in him. Might not be immediately obvious in the mirror. It might take time, like for him, it to come through in his communication or his actions. But this is a big deal, yeah. It feels like with those two major arcanas that it can be a significant turning point, yeah. So keep us posted on how things unfold from here. But something has shifted, I agree. I hope that resonated in the mirror. Okay, so Samreen, my love, this is for you. Samreen says, after confronting Pilot about our future together, I blocked him later from every single platform. What does the future hold for my connection with him? So is this after the financial thing, Samreen, that happened between you? Let's have a look at the future between you. I mean, Star is the hopeful card. All is not lost. All is not lost. If you don't want it to be, Samreen. Star card is about there still being, it's very much, it's the wish upon a star card, this. Now, with that, there's a few ways, take what resonates here, Samreen. So this can be with the Pilot, if you want it to be, if you still hope for that. Or it can be in a broader sense, in that the relationship that you want is still possible and is still out there for you. I'm going to pull another card, okay? Of course, Namarine. Thank you, because I love him. Exactly. Tell me more, Spirit, about this, particularly with the Pilot, okay? Oh. So I think there is a tower moment, okay? You might be in the midst of that tower moment, Samreen, now. Oh, okay, so it's not about the financial. But last night I asked him a question about commitment. He wasn't ready for it. I've got 2 major arcanas here. So how did things get to? It sounds like things went off the deep end though. That you blocked him from every platform. Did it turn into a full-blown argument? Because we do have a tower moment here, which you might be in the midst of, or it might be in the near future, okay? Because the tower moment, it is about upheaval. It's about sudden change. It can be about this argument that you've had, this disagreement, and things have kind of blown up. Now, the tower moment, the silver lining of the tower moment is that kind of whatever survives this upheaval is right for you, okay? And if it's not, if it gets washed away and swept away, this person may get swept out of your life, then you need to trust that they were not meant for you, okay? But if they survive it and it kind of remains and still stands, that there's something left after this, then maybe there's something that we need to do differently as well to move forward. I mean, maybe this is revealed that you're not on the same page. Is this something that you are prepared to weigh out? That, you know, if they're not ready for commitment and you are, you know, is this something that you're prepared to wait for? We've got 2 major arcanas here. So, I mean, I definitely don't think this is the end of the road, Samreen, okay, for you, in the sense of that there's more to come, there's more communication, okay? But the bigger picture is, I think with the Star, because that's your wish about what you want, with this tower moment, it's kind of exposed this connection. So it was a joke, but it turned into something real. And maybe it's unearthed and upended and brought things to light, yeah, that are worth reviewing. So maybe some serious conversations do need to happen around this, Samreen, so that you have understanding about how you're going to move forward. The tower moment is, so this is the upheaval in this connection that has happened and that is still going to be in the near future energy. It's going to be rocky, Samreen, okay? If you can survive it, if you can navigate it, then it's for you. But if you can't get on the same page, if you can't get past this disruption of the tower moment, then we need to let it go so that we can leave space for the relationship that we do want, which is this star energy. Okay? Okay, moving on. So Alvin, my dear, if you are here, please go ahead and post your question. So tell me about HM. Alvin, just remind me what this connection is. If you feel that's right, Samreen, if you feel you need to take a break. But I think maybe something will need to be more resolved with this relationship first before, I mean, if you want to walk away, but because that tower, it didn't really seem like a clean break, if that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Alvin, just for that reminder. So, what's going to, for the remainder, the end of the year, what's coming for you and this connection? Interesting. Nice. Temperance comes up again. That's the collective energy today for sure. But first we start off with Seven of Pentacles, which tells me, okay, that you have made progress. You have built something, yeah? Seven of Pentacles is when, you know, we've put effort and energies into, you know, this connection. Both of you, I imagine. And each kind of pentacle that you've created represents that effort and that energy, yeah? And we've built up, it's like we've gained some traction. We've built 7 pentacles, which is quite significant. And then it's Seven of Pentacles is like where we begin to reflect on it and kind of take a step back to assess where we're going and if we're going in the right direction. Maybe you're already feeling this, Alvin, that you're starting to obviously question the future and maybe know that things need to go one way or the other. Like, are we going to... Is this connection going to deepen? Is this going to get more serious? Are we just going to sort of keep things as they are? But these questions are now starting to come in because things can't, I suppose, in a way, like things can't stay the same forever. The energy shifts again, yeah? But then we do have this beautiful Temperance card, which is that tells me that harmony will remain. And I don't see that this means, this is not something negative. Because these cups are perfectly balanced, yeah? Temperance is about harmony, it's about balance. That's your energy, that's their energy, you know, and we're keeping that level, yeah? We're being very respectful of each other. We're allowing things. Patience is required as well, so be careful not to try to forcefully push this forward. I mean, what do you want, Alvin? Do you want this connection to go to the next level, or do you want things to stay the same? Maybe start asking, being really honest with yourself here about this reflection, asking yourself about what it is that you do want. One more card. What I think would be useful is to ask what they want, okay? HM wants. And this can be helpful to you, Alvin. Maybe you already know, but let's see what Spirit says. Okay, so they look, the Lovers, Alvin. They want, you know, this a lot, yeah? The Lovers card is a soul connection, karmic partner, the real deal, yeah? Walking off into the sunset here. Beautiful card. So You may already know this, Alvin, if you are honest with yourself about how your person feels about you. They may even have expressed this. I don't know how forward they've been in communication, but this is confirmation that they want this, okay? And I think it's you who is the one who is maybe still questioning and maybe still in a bit of an analytical state of mind. So really the ball is kind of in your court for at least the remainder of the year, because nothing will be upended from their end. Yes, this is what they want, but they're not going to kind of upset the apple cart, and balance will remain, harmony will remain. But maybe it is time for you to start thinking, if you're not already, you may be already, Alvin, start thinking about taking this to the next level. I mean, what do you want? Do you want this? Or do you want things to stay as they are? Feels like it's up to you, really. But, it's kind of all laid out for you, which is nice in the sense of that they're prepared to wait for you to work it out, I guess, until you're sure. But don't keep them hanging too long. I hope that resonates, Alvin. Okay, so next up we have Supriya, my love. If you're here, we have Supriya. Oh, I haven't posted the list for a while. Let me do that now. I got lost in the source then. I'm glad, Alvin. I'm glad that resonated. Keep us posted. You're welcome. Thank you, Supriya. Supriya asks, I want to know, does Yogesh have true intentions? If how he truly feels, what's in store for this connection, I think you mean. Thank you. For reference, we are seeing each other. Somewhat confused a bit. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to take that. So let's have a look at Yogesh's true intentions, Supriya. You're seeing each other, but you're not sure how they truly feel. Let's have a look how they truly feel. So the Ace of Wands tells me there's some back and forth energy. There's a nice guy. So yeah, the Ace, okay. So I don't know how long this has been going on, the connection. But there's a lot of fire energy here. Like what this tells me is that this is very passionate. This is driven by our heart's desires. Yeah, it has a kind of explosive emotional energy to it. And the Ace of Wands is about potential, okay? But it's also, the Ace is the beginning, but this maybe we're feeling stuck at the beginning. Like we can't get beyond the first stages. Like it's all good if this at the beginning to have this Ace of Wands, but then if this connection has been going on for some time, which I think it has, Supriya, because I think I've read 6 months. Okay, so that's not too far, but take what resonates with this, Supriya, because you may still feel this energy. 6 months, it's not it's not a long time, but it's not just an immediate, you know, thing. It is kind of a good few months. So let's see what will happen. Will this change? So let me know if that resonates. It's like, it's good. There is a lot of attraction here and good vibes and kind of excitement and movement, but we might be stuck at the beginning. Yeah. Will this change? We have the Hermit card, which really tells me the Hermit is quite a still card, which tells me that for the foreseeable, that this is how it's going to be. Now, the question to ask that, because the Hermit card is like about reflection, it's about shining a light on the situation and maybe asking yourself some questions about if this is enough for you. Okay. Generally it's when people, you know, are given this kind of energy, it's where they're at in their life, that's all that they've got to offer. And it can change, but the question with the Hermit coming through is saying, you know, you need to really ask yourself if it is enough for you at this point, because it doesn't look to be changing significantly anytime soon, is what I say with this Hermit card. I'll ask what's the why we stuck at the Ace of Wands. I mean, it can be a number of things, just where they've come from the past relationship, that they don't want to get anything too deep and heavy. They may have emotional immaturity and they want to keep things just almost just here in this space. It has to change eventually, yeah, though. It's just like that, almost a bit like what Alvin, it was like a connection. It has to go one way or the other at some point. One more about Yogesh. Okay, so we do get a Page of Wands, so we do get some movement. The Page is when they start, a Page is a card of assessment, so they will start thinking about this on a deeper level and maybe start to reflect themselves. So that's hopeful, okay, because we move from the Ace of Wands to this Page of, oh sorry, it's a Page of Swords energy, but it's still a card of assessment. And Swords is when, I mean, how much of a conversation have you been able to have with them about this? Because Swords is about communication, speaking our truth. So that may be coming down the track as well, that a conversation will come about one way or the other. It could be instigated by them as well, because they are coming through as this Page, that they'll have something to say to you, that they'll give you some information about where they're at with this connection and where they see it going. But I almost feel like with you coming through as the Hermit, that you can't force this forward. It's more about looking within and seeing if this is enough for you right now. With it being a Page as well, that again, it does tell me that there is some immaturity here on their part. You're probably already aware of this, Supriya. So that's something that you will be dealing with. Again, I just keep hearing, ask yourself, is this enough? Is this enough? Let it play out, okay? If you want, if you're invested enough, and see what they come through and have to say with this Page of Swords, yeah? But I do feel like there's a gap in like your maturity compared to them. and maybe you need someone who knows what they want more, someone who is a stronger character and more mature to match where you're at in your life and you as a person. Hope that resonated. Okay, thank you, Eco. So Eco asks, may I ask if there will be a turning point in my career progress soon? I've been on this journey for a while now. You have. Would like to know how close I am to reach my goal. So I don't do timelines, but I can see the energy around it. Is it slow? Is it fast? Is it changeable? Ooh. Some happiness coming through here for you, Eco 7s. This is nice to see. A kind of breakthrough energy here, yeah, with the Sun card. That feels like a relief, you know, after maybe this journey has caused a lot of kind of worry, a lot of stress. And I know there's often been that question and balance about, you know, trying to make this work, and the sort of technicalities and getting bogged down with the practicality, and then still being able to, you know, experience the joy of the work actually that you do, and also the joy of progress, of success. So this is a really good omen. Also, what came out, oh, so this is beautiful as well. So we have the Four of Wands, which is a card of celebration. So it will pay off, Eco 7. It will pay off. The Four of Wands has a few messages. One, it says you've come further than you think, because I know often when trying to build your own business, or when we're putting a lot of effort into something, and it can just feel like we're not making any progress, and it can just feel like a grind, yeah, and you think, actually, you know, is this doing anything? But with the Four of Wands, it says yes, like you have actually come like so far. If you can look back and think of, you know, the knowledge that you've gained, the skills that you've learned, the progress that you have made. The Four of Wands is about reaching a significant milestone as well, which I think is tied into this Sun card. So something is in the pipeline and coming down the track to be something worth celebrating, that will bring you a lot of happiness. And the Four is also about stability, so it's about this strong foundation that you've built, and this celebration being tied into that, to kind of see that, oh, actually I have built something of significance here, and something validating. And the Four of Wands is about making sure that we celebrate the wins along the way. But in a more literal sense, I actually see this as you celebrating a particular milestone. So whatever comes up, arises in you, Eco 7, you might already know whatever that goal or that milestone would look like to you, and that you're specifically working on now, that would give you that kind of burst of happiness if it was to happen. Because can you see how that almost kind of mirrors that, doesn't it, to me here? So it's like that really is going to manifest and materialize for you. And this is people close to you. Well, just one person maybe in particular, maybe your partner, or someone who has really been on this journey with you and been a huge support to help make this happen. You'll be able to celebrate with them. So both hugely positive cards actually, Eco 7. So please don't give up and keep ploughing that field, you know, keep building that road, because it will bring what you hope. You know, here is this happiness and this celebration and this particular milestone that I think, though, which you hopefully you will know when I speak of it, what I'm talking about. Keep us posted. Hey Jazz, no, it's still you're last on the list actually, so you were second. So we have it's me again, and then we have Jazz. Yeah, such a positive vibe, Eco7. So I'm so happy those cards came through for you, because I know what a journey it's been, yeah, and still is. Very encouraging though. So we have it's me again, and then we have, last but not least, we have Jazz. Thanks. It's me again. So me again asked, hello Seer. I want to ask how the rest of this month will be in regards to my love life, since this is the month of my birthday. Let's see if anything comes in. So are you, just tell me about where you're at the moment. It's me again. Are we single? Is there someone in particular that you want me to look at? Is it a situationship? Jazz, you can go ahead and post your question as well if you're ready, and I'll read for you, like I say, last but not least, after it's me again. Okay, I'm single. I was in a situationship, but I've pulled back. Ooh, 5 of Swords. So some conflict, internal or external conflict, okay, with the 5 of Swords. Swords is about communication, can be about disagreements, arguments. So I'm wondering if issues might come up with the situationship. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't with that. Because it can sort of talk about fallings out and harsh words. The sharp edge of the swords, yeah. Now with the 5 of Swords, it does say that this will blow over those. So it kind of, with the 5, it can feel quite dramatic and catastrophic at the time, but it leaves really as quickly as it comes, okay? So it will blow over and it will pass, but it might feel quite intense at the time. King of Wands, because I asked what specifically this was in relationship to, this conflict, and it is a King of Wands. So King of Wands is someone who, they can be a fire sign, or that they've got this strong in their chart. Someone who is really knows what they want, okay? They're a king. They have kind of lived a life and they know themselves and they know what they want. Particularly with the King of Wands, they can be very charismatic, sometimes even kind of overwhelming. They're a little bit of a whirlwind, in the sense that they, you know, when you're with someone and it's kind of an exciting adventure, but it's a little bit like being carried along in a tornado at times. There's something about this person's energy that's like that. So this could be someone new, or if this energetic signature resonates with your situationship, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this, if it doesn't sound like them, this person does like to be generally in control and takes the lead on the situation as well. But this is who's going to be in your energy field in October. You might recognize this person's energy, or if not, then it can be someone new. and there might be a few communication hiccups along the way, but trust that it will blow over. So this is an interesting energy. Let me know if it does sound like your situationship. Is it more of them, or is this someone new? Again, not a straightforward kind of connection necessarily. The advice though from Spirit as well is to work it out and work it through with this Three of Pentacles. So there is something here, there is potential here, despite this kind of quite intense energy. The Three of Pentacles says, you know, even though we might have differences, different ways of communication, different opinions on things, could be that kind of opposites attract kind of energy as well, where it feels like the things, you can almost like irritate each other, but there's a strong attraction there. And the Three of Pentacles is all about understanding different perspectives, and the common goal being that really, you know, you kind of want to be together and like enjoy spending time with each other, really. So work it out, work it through in order to reach that goal. Interesting. So you don't know if that resonates with your ex's energetic signature, because that's what I would decipher, okay? How you can decipher that. So if that, does that sound like your ex, or sorry, your situationship? If not, then it's most likely someone new, but that's for you to decipher. Okay, last but not least, we have Jazz, my love. Yeah, so if you, it's the characteristics of that King of Wands, yeah? Directness of character, someone who takes the lead on a situation, etc. All those kind of qualities that are described. Hey Jazz, thanks for posting. What would you like to know, Jazz, specifically? Just let me know. Do you want to know, are you having a tricky time? Are you just wanting to know what comes next? Try to be specific with these questions. Like I say, always, the more, you know, it's an energy exchange, so the more you, almost like the clearer the question you have, be really clear about what you're asking Spirit, yeah? Spirit doesn't really do generals. So there's a bit of a delay in the chat, Jazz, but I think that you got the rest of my question there. What would you like to know in regards to your job? So I don't do general readings, Jazz. Let me know what you want to know about your new job. Are you having difficulties? Do you want to know how you're being perceived? Okay, Jazz says, okay, Seer, we'll type question now. Okay. Right. Good. So let's have a look at how you can deal with this, yeah? I can imagine that it's very difficult to deal with students. We have this King of Wands again. It's all about facing our fears, I think, with this King of Wands, okay? Because the King of Wands is very much in control and takes the lead, yeah? It's ruled by fire energy, so it's about maybe what's holding you back is, I mean, this takes practice, okay? So give yourself some grace. It is very extremely difficult to deal with students, but the impression that we want to give is that we're in control of the situation and we're taking the lead. And this is ruled by fire, yeah, so it's very kind of high energy. It's a way to get them on side as well. So if we can come in and be strong and create a kind of powerful energy, then people will get on board. I mean, it's as well about being, the King of Wands is very charismatic as well, so allow your natural personality to come out. It's not about being a boss, so to speak, but it's just that we're setting the tone. But the King of Wands can be quite fun as well and can bring humor and charisma into this. So allow, like I say, allow your personality to come out, allow you to be a real person, a real human to them, but also following that line of, you know, this is my class and this is kind of my show. What I was going to say as well is that the King of Wands doesn't get caught up on being perfect. So I think it's time to don't get too bogged down in, like, if you make a mistake, that's the end of the world. So take a few more risks and be bold. And if you make some errors, it doesn't matter, it'll be forgotten. It will pass, yeah? People won't care. So we need to be a bit more fearless. And one more, please, Spirit. Oh, interesting. Then we have the King of Cups. Is there anyone, I want to say as well, is there anyone who can help you? Is there other teachers who can mentor you within this? Because it's always worth, I mean, use resources, Jazz. I don't know if you already do, but if you've got, either draw on other people and ask them. But I mean, you might have already been down this road about, you know, finding coaching videos online about how to present yourself the best way, and almost build in some knowledge and skills. I mean, I'm sure you've taught before and this is kind of an ongoing process, but I feel like drawing on resources would be useful where you can. And if there's any more experienced teachers who can help you, there is a King of Cups here who is someone, the King of Cups, I mean, they have a very different approach to the King of Wands, which is interesting. The King of Cups is more laid back and chilled out, but still has that sense of power. I just see what you say. I'm trying to find a balance here. I want them to be interactive in class, yeah. If it to be too friendly, students don't listen. So I feel like this could be someone else's energy. Tell you what resonates, King of Cups, who's someone who is really quite more laid back and reserved. But I think it's a double message as well, of kind of, sometimes maybe it's okay to be quietly confident as well, because the King of Cups is someone who trusts their intuition and has like a very like contained kind of energy, which is different to the King of Cups, someone who's very outgoing and kind of loud and brash in a way. The King of Cups is someone who is introverted, who is ruled by their emotions and is very cautious, like thinks before they speak. So number one, I would say go with what comes naturally to you, Jazz, as well. Don't try to be someone that you're not. That's a very important thing. So what is your teaching style? That's what you're figuring out now. And you don't have to be really loud and brash and all these things what maybe you think you have to be. You can be quieter, more introverted, and still have a lot of control over the class and draw people in. So lean into your true nature and who you are. And also, if you can, be that in real life, draw on experienced people, or be that, read the books, watch the videos, even look on YouTube, take a deep dive, which you may already have done. Take a deep dive on all teaching skills and advice, and experiment with finding your style. And do understand that you will make mistakes. You might, things won't land, and some classes you will lose control of. But, like you say, you're new to teaching. This is your first teaching job. Every teacher has been through this. Yeah, I mean, you could even do some voice exercises if you don't have a loud voice and you want to learn how to project it, because it's a little bit like being an actor. Jazz, in some ways, being a teacher, having taught classes myself, that it's a little bit like taking on a character, and maybe that's something that you could do so that you can switch out of stuff, things that hold you back from being yourself. You can sort of create a character for yourself of who you step into, of what kind of teacher you would like to be. Write that down. What characteristics do they have? Create a character for yourself and become that. It's still a part of you, if that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that resonated, Jazz. I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to end the live now, but thank you all so much for joining today's live. I hope the messages you received brought you clarity, peace, and some inspiration for the days ahead. Remember to take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always trust your own inner guidance. And I'll be back on our next live on Monday. So keep an eye out for the schedule, and that time will be confirmed on Sunday. It's all on the community post. But be kind to yourselves, keep centering your energy, and stay open to the guidance from Spirit. Sending you love and light. Take care, and I'll see you soon.